nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse show. The Drew and Fuse show. The Drew and Fuse show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
Hello. You survived Halloween weekend. Halloween.
It is, yeah. The pre-holiday weekend was crazy fest. We still have one more day. It's coming up. I guess tomorrow when this airs will be the actual Hallows Eve. Are you playing? I am playing. Are you playing that night?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not doing the Halloween night. We always go to my sister's, and then my niece is now getting too old to trick or treat, but we just kind of hang out and pass out the candy and all that, which is cool. I mean, obviously, if I wanted to still play, there's plenty of time after that to go DJ. But I'm just over doing more than 2 or 3 nights a week anymore. So this weekend I'll have Friday, Saturday, Sunday again. Did Friday, Saturday, Sunday this past weekend. Just don't want to overdo it.
I totally understand. I was stoked. I had a great weekend. Had my regular clubs. People were dressed up, and then did a wedding on Saturday, which was fun. It was a banger. These kids get out there and they just want to rage. So just letting at least the weddings I'm booking right now, as long as I let the couples know, because this wedding specifically, outside the dance floor was inside, and then they had a photo booth outside. Then in another room they had the bar. So it was just way too much going on. And I let them know, ahead of time, if you see the dance floor is empty, it's because you guys are off gallivanting somewhere else. Like,
right.
Bring it back. And they every single time it would die, they would go and gather everybody and come and bring it right back. And it was just a rager the whole night. So awesome.
I think it's important to tell the bride and groom that fact. I just don't think sometimes they realize that it is, the party is centered around them that day. And like, if they're just, they're wanting people to dance, if they're booking you, if they're booking me, they want a party. They could book anybody, but if they're doing that, they want a party. And it's like, let's make sure that we're out there to party versus standing in the photo booth for an hour.
So the wedding was a rager. It was awesome. It was a small wedding. So actually everyone stayed and danced. It was awesome all the way till the end. And I packed up as quick as and I had a sax player, which was a lot of fun. I've been teaming up with a sax player and a lot lately, and always different, but this guy just nails it. He knows his cues, when to come in, and he could just play off the top. He knows how to play with the song and not just rambling off random horn lines. But after that, packed up as quick as I possibly could, threw all my shit in the van, and then went and DJ'd at Heat Ultra Lounge. It's like a big Vegas club, and that was already just out of control. Made it there by 12:30 and just headline, closed out the night, and everyone was dressed up, and it's so much fun. It's a fun room to play.
And you left the mustard at home?
Yep, left the mustard at home.
That's good. I hear you got to do that when you play there. My weekend was pretty normal. I was at Fishbowl on Friday, which is where I play every Friday. Everybody that listens to this knows. It was a good night though. We had a lot of people out on Friday that dressed up. We didn't really advertise Friday night Halloween party, but it was good. It was a good Friday. Saturday, actual Halloween night, I played at a spot that I've only played twice before in town, which is Beeline, which is actually on the Kentucky side. And I've only played there twice before, and both times that I did it were like for friends that had parties there. So this is the first time I've actually played like a normal night there. And it was good. It was a good night. It was just very much like this. The Halloween there was like I don't get out much kind of night. So I feel like I was being like bombarded with requests from people of like dumb shit that you would never really play. So
Rookie Fest.
It was interesting. Yeah,
it's a Rookie Fest night. Yeah.
Yes.
I luckily on that where I was at the stage, they can't get to you at all. So that was okay. But
I feel like Halloween's not typically like the Rookie Fest that it felt like this time. Like usually it's very much like the night before Thanksgiving and like New Year's Eve that are total rookie fests. But like Halloween, I feel like I isn't normally like it, and it definitely was this time.
Well, it's got to be the venue then.
Yeah, that's possible. That is possible.
That could lean heavy into it.
It was just interesting. And then Sunday I did after the Bengals game. I played at Stretch right after the game until 8 p.m. And then another DJ, Josh Gall, played after me from 8 to close. And it was fun. I had a good time. It was one of those just dreading because I was tired because I worked in the kitchen at Red Leprechaun before the game until halftime. And then at halftime, I went and took like a 30-minute break in the car, sat in the car, and then went over to the bar and set up and then started right after the game. But I had a good time.
Did they win?
No.
So it's night and day difference of how many people come out versus.
Well, yeah, we played the Eagles, and the Eagles, the Philly fans are partiers, so they traveled here. They rolled deep this time, and the bar was full, and I think what's important, is to read the room kind of when the team loses, and then you have to start right away after that. Like I feel like you can't just come out like swinging bangers. You kind of got to like the first couple songs, you just, because it's like game sound on, and then like they switch it over to DJ. So I feel like it's kind of, you don't want to go too high energy, but you don't want to like also go too low energy. I feel like it's important to kind of just start at the middle and then like bring the energy up, versus like if you start with the energy up, like people are going to be like, look, asshole, we just lost. Relax. And like it's important to do that.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. I had a good time. And you wrapped up at Bungalow?
Yeah, Sunday fun day. A little bit slower than typical just because the huge night before, so everyone was probably hungover. But still good.
Word. All right. Well, we got a great guest for you guys today. It's the first time in a few weeks we've had a guest on. He's from UK. He's a DJ and producer. Please help us welcome JBRUUS.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
How we doing?
Good.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Yeah, we're stoked. We're big fans. Both of us been playing your remixes a lot, and so we're happy to get you on here.
Thank you very much.
I think maybe it's been about a year-ish when I first started downloading your stuff. I think I still go on SoundCloud and I dig for stuff if I like am looking for an updated version or just, first off, you're killing it with the remixes. They're exactly what I want. They're like just a much more current sounding version of the songs that are working right now. And so I think I was searching for something and one of yours popped up and that's how I first heard of you.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's really good to hear. And that's what I started out doing, was I wanted people to have the remixes that I've been playing out to help my sets.
Right.
So, yeah.
We're going to start with a little rapid fire. It's just kind of like this or that style questions. We're going to play this video and then we'll come back and ask you some questions.
Hey, this is the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Drew and Fuse, let's talk questions. In fact, let's do some rapid fire. Now, I know these rapid fires aren't always so rapid fire, and that is okay by me. I got nothing but time. Now, let's look at the man in the mirror and get started.
All right, there's Michael Jackson introducing our rapid fire segment.
That's perfect for Halloween. It's a good comeback for that one.
All right, our first question, are you using turntables or CDJs?
Or even a controller?
So CDJs / controller.
Okay.
So depends which venue I'm in. And I either take a controller with me or CDJs.
Which controller do you take with you if you take one with you?
So I've had the Pioneer DJ 1000 for a while, but it's recently broke. So I've just purchased an FLX 10.
Nice. Okay.
So,
Awesome. What's your favorite genre to play, or what are you playing out the most?
at dance music, EDM. What I play out and what I listen to, two different things,
For
really.
sure.
Of course,
Yeah.
that's all of us. Totally.
Yeah. What's your favorite genre to listen to? What do you like to listen to personally?
So I love like progressive house, sort of the Martin Garrix, the Swedish House Mafia, the Alesso, that era of, genre of music.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you on Serato or Record Box?
Serato.
Okay. And then
that's a little shocking. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I thought UK everyone was so heavily in Record Box or Sticks.
Yeah, they are. I think because I started out using Scratch Live.
Wow, okay.
And that's when I first was introduced to Serato and Scratch Live, and used that, and then progressed with Serato DJ.
Yeah, makes sense.
This is a important question, especially for you. We've asked this to a lot of DJs, but you being from the UK, I feel like it's even more important. The Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
You had to put that on there.
The Beatles for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Love it. Calvin Harris or Tiesto?
Ooh, well, that's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go Calvin Harris because he's closer to home. But love Tiesto.
Pioneer or Rain?
Again, tough one because I use Pioneer all the time, but obviously the Rain was sort of what I was using the SL box for Serato to start with. Yeah. So I'll go Pioneer.
Yeah.
Do you have a SL box still? I have one somewhere. It's like a paperweight now.
Yeah, I've got an SL1 and an SL4. So
okay.
Yeah, it's just sitting there doing nothing now.
Do you drink like alcohol?
Yes.
Okay. Some people we have on, they don't drink. So this next one is vodka or whiskey or tequila?
Vodka.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been DJing?
It must be about, so clubs, probably about 10 years.
Okay.
I started out actually doing like what's called like our under 16 night. So it's like a student night. So it's for like people under the age of 16. Over in the UK, 18 is when you can go legally drink, party.
Right.
So we used to do them as, experience, and then landed my first residency at 18. So it's been about 10 years since.
Okay.
Those under 16, I have a daughter who's 15, so that just scares the shit out of me, thinking that she could go out at 15. But I guess it's just like DJing a school dance almost.
Yeah, so there's no alcohol, it's very, you can have a Coca-Cola, you can have a very
do they move them around, or is it all like in one venue?
No, it's just one venue is what we used to do. So yeah, it's good.
And then this next question, it's not so rapid fire, but it'll lead us into the next stuff. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years, or what do you want to do with your DJ career?
So I mean, the absolute dream would be to play somewhere like Ultra Music Festival, somewhere like that would be the absolute dream. Would love that. Even to go to it and trying to save as much as I can to get myself out there. But yeah, I think that'd be the dream, or to get a song out there that's really heard around the world. And I'm quite grateful now that the remixes are reaching people like yourselves, in different countries, different states. It's already quite. But I think an original as well is where I need to get into the music a bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that you have a good leg up though on all that, because your remixes are really good and that sound is really what's current. So I think, balancing kind of what you're doing with your remixes with an original production would be, really awesome.
Well, I've always mentioned to guys just when they're getting started is doing a remix or bootlegs just to get your name out there, to then transition over to the originals, or sprinkling them in at the same time as the remixes.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, baffles me even to this day. Like I say, that my music has reached as far as it has. And again, I started producing. I might be stealing some of your questions here, so
No,
please
it's all
tell
right.
me. I started producing because I was playing tracks out that wasn't really having that energy that I required at my gigs, at my sets, and that's when I was like, right, well, I'll do these remixes, share them with a couple of DJs in my local town, and they were like, these are amazing. You know, you need to get them to different places and try and put them out. So again, this was years ago that I started producing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're really good. And we want to talk a little more production, but before we talk more production, we're going to roll another video and then we'll come back to it.
Hey, what is up, Drew and Fuse? It is Mark McGrath from the band Sugar Ray, off the charts, but always in her heart. Hey, Drew and Fuse, when I'm not busy being the handsome, dashing fella that I am, at least I had a few good years in the 90s, I work on music, like writing hit #1 songs like Fly and Every Morning. Maybe someday you'll have a hit. Let's talk production. Let's talk inspiration. Actually, you know what? I don't even like Drew and Fuse. Who are they?
All right. There's Mark McGrath talking a little production. And, you know, as we've already mentioned, we love all your remix, but we just wanted to kind of talk a little more about that. Like, what's the software you're using to make your remixes?
Yeah, so I'm using Logic Pro, and I've only ever used Logic Pro because I get a lot of producers saying, did you use anything else growing up? I got my first MacBook when I was about 14, 15. I'd saved and saved and saved, and this was what I wanted to do. I was like, I want to try and make music.
Yeah.
And I'd heard of this Logic Pro software, I think actually inspired by like Skrillex or someone at the time who was using it, and it was like, oh, this looks really fun and interesting. So yeah, Logic Pro.
Okay.
It's gotten really powerful now, right? I mean, obviously they all kind of do the same exact stuff now, but it has, if I'm not mistaken, it has like stems in integrated in it now.
It does. I will be honest with you, I'm using a 12-year-old MacBook Pro still.
Okay.
For the simple reason, I had an iMac, and it sort of failed on me. So I went back to my old 2012 MacBook Pro, the one with the disk drive, the CD drive.
Diesel.
Yeah. So it's over there. It's sat having a break at the moment. But yeah, so I went back to that, and then I was traveling a bit with DJing and work. So it was more convenient than a 27-inch iMac.
Right, for sure.
So, but yeah, so my Logic's quite outdated, one of the older 10-point versions, but it's, again, it does what I need it to do. It struggles, but it does what I need it to do.
Yeah, when you get a new one, you're gonna be like, what was I doing? You're gonna have to you're gonna be amazed with all this new free time you have, that you're not waiting for things to export.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. I have to bounce down things to stop the CPU overloading, bounce it. And
yeah, I was in fact, they're just have a bunch of Mac announcements today. They just dropped a new Mac Mini today. It's you know, the M4. It's just a little guy. They redesigned it, and should be I'm sure that would just smoke your current one.
Absolutely, I think anything would at this point.
Hey, but when something works, like, I get it. You know, I know a lot of producers that they don't want to upgrade because their plugins are a certain thing and they rely on it so much. And I don't know if there's any plugins that you use that, you know, you couldn't really update or live without.
Don't think particularly. I mean, plugins wise, I mainly use sort of Serum, Massive, sort of Native Instrument Bundle, which probably doesn't need an upgrade, really. I bought it when you used to get it on. I don't know if you remember, the Native Instruments used to send it you on a drive.
Right.
You'd install it off an actual USB drive, which was, yeah, that's going back years. But yeah, so I think most things are compatible on the newer Macs, which for me it's just I think in my head I think because Macs are a lot more expensive than what they were,
Well, I think that's true, but with this new, like this week, or today even, they dropped the new Mac Minis, and like the new Mac Minis, they start at $599. I mean, yeah, you would have to buy a monitor, but you can buy a monitor for like $99 now. So
that's not bad at all. That
yeah, and then
you can hook it up to a TV. That's how I had it for the longest time. It was just an old TV I had.
Yeah, I mean, for $599 now, you can get an M4 Mac Mini with 10-core CPU and 16 gigs of memory. Or if you spend $1,000, you can get an M4 with 24 gigs of memory and a 10-core CPU. So it's pretty wild.
Yeah, that will completely destroy my 2012 MacBook.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, you said you're traveling right now, so it is nice having a laptop for that instead of being stuck at home. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy how cheap they are now.
Yeah, no, it is. I think hopefully, I mean, the MacBook Pros themselves, hopefully, them prices drop a little bit because I remember I bought this MacBook for about $899, which sounds a lot back then. Comparison now it's like $299.
So what's we talked already, and you might have mentioned a little bit earlier, but like what's been some of your inspiration with making the music the way you do? You're obviously playing out, and you mentioned that, and that you wanted to just take songs and give them a little more energy. Is there any other inspiration, or even just artists that you like, or remixers that you like?
Yeah, so originally when I started producing, I was producing like piano house. That was quite a big thing in the UK. It was very piano house around 2014 to 15. That sort of era was piano house remixes, the sort of MK style productions. And that's where I started. So I was very sort of into Korg, the sort of M1, that side of producing.
Do you play piano, or do you play an instrument? Is that were you playing a lot of that, or I'm just curious how you were making the piano house stuff.
Yeah, so I do play. When I was in school, secondary school, it was learn the keyboard, and that's where I got the sort of buzz for music. It was okay. This is what I want: piano, keyboard. So yeah, I can play, not as well as I could say 10 years ago, but I can play the chords that are perfect for what I need. So I started doing piano house, and then it sort of progressed a bit more because I wasn't feeling like it was getting the energy still that I needed. Then I actually heard a remixer called Fat Tony, and his remixes, I think it was his remix of ABBA, Gimme Gimme, and that for me just stuck with me, and I played that out at my sets, and this was like, yes, this is the energy that I feel like I want to not copy but perceive in my own way and make it my own. And so that's really where his style. Then I've listened to other remixers, sort of along the lines of it's going out my head now, Morton, so sort of future rave sort of style. Gin and Sonic, another great remixer.
It makes sense because I love a lot of the Fat Tony stuff as well. So I feel like him, Burnout, yourself, like you mentioned, Gin and Sonic, all you guys are doing these really good, making these older songs sound correct. And I think it's
not even the older, just even some of the newer subs that just lacks the energy, or just like putting it right into the club, like G6 is one of the ones I play of yours all the time. And it just was it always felt like it was just dragging, and now it just is forward, and it's just hitting so much better now with your remix.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so that was one that I played out a lot as well, and I always got the reaction when that first initial lead comes in. But again, it was a bit like, well, this needs a bit more thump. It needs a bit more of the energy that I bring to my sets. And that's when it was like, okay, let's give it a go. Sat down one day, and yeah, it was like, okay, I'm liking this, and yeah, that's how that sort of started.
Yeah.
I like too that like with like the Lady Gaga Just Dance one that you did, like you kind of have like a drop in there. But what I like is like it's not so foreign sound. Like if people aren't big EDM fans and they come out to like a party bar, the drop, like I feel like it resonates with the people that are EDM fans, but it's not so over the top that it goes over other people's heads as well.
Yeah, so the Just Dance one took a bit longer to produce because I wanted to go for that sort of have a bit of a drop that's a bit different, but people still know, like you said. And then I spoke with my best mate, my other DJ friend, Jay, and I said to him, like, what ideas do you have? And he said, dropping a bit of the vocal right before the drop. Okay, yeah, that worked. Going a bit more stabby with the lead on the break. So again, we it's a bit of a collaboration, but it helps speaking to other DJs as well. So like, what would you like? How would you hear it? How would you like to change it?
Right.
I love a producer that actually still DJs, because then you have the same interests as we have. You're not just putting something out, and you can tell the difference for sure.
I agree.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you see how many versions I bounce down, and I'm there testing in the club, and I'm going, nope, that needs to change. That needs to change. That
Yeah.
Especially when you're adapted to that sound system. But it does help because this is how I get the ideas for the remixes. I'll play certain songs that I think, it needs that club energy that just doesn't. And sometimes you'll get a really good reaction off a song. So, for example, Just Dance was the one that was like, everyone was like, great, needs that more energy. So, yeah.
Well, it's tough, as a DJ sometimes, and I explain this, like when you're playing a remix like yours, and then you're playing a remix like the Fat Tony or Burnout, and then you want to go play a song after or, between something else, and it doesn't have that sound, it kills the vibe. So it's like, it's hard when you don't have that punchy stuff.
100%. I think that's why I did California Girls, Katy Perry, because that was it's a recent one. But again, great song, play it out. Everyone knows it. Everyone loves it. And again, it didn't have that energy. And I was like, right, this is the next one.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that one. I'm because I agree. I'm like, it just needed it. So I think that was a good one.
Yeah, I just added your remix to my sets because I'm from California, and believe it or not, I don't play that song. That's I don't know why. It just for me never really worked here of all the Katy Perry stuff.
Okay.
And I know it's big everywhere else, but I just put your remix into the rotation, and it's been getting a good reaction. I played it this weekend, and it actually had a great reaction. So
amazing. I think I like that interaction that I can have with other DJs from around the world, with yourselves, because then I can get, again, an idea of what works over in your state, that works over, England, Spain, wherever I am.
Yeah, and we have a ton of upcoming producers that listen to the show, and just throw out any like maybe tips or tricks or stuff you're doing on some of your mastering or anything that you could recommend to these guys.
Yeah. So say I'm using Logic again. In my opinion, I don't feel like you've got to have that best equipment to produce.
Obviously not.
Say 12 years later, it's growing.
Yeah.
So yeah, for my master, I use different mastering chains sort of every time. I tweak it, but I sort of use the same. So I use fab filters, limiters. I actually use the Waves. It's the Abbey Road mastering. There's a mastering plugin for Abbey Roads. It's very good. It just adds that sort of, I don't know, something. It's a bit of sparkle, is how I can describe it. Adds that sort of
You're a Beatles
Yeah.
fan. It has to. It's
Had
giving
it-
that
exactly.
that John Lennon sparkle.
Exactly, that's the one. So I use that. I work really weird how I produce, and I know it gets frowned upon a lot. So I might be about to really annoy a lot of producers here. But so when I'm actually producing, everything is at 0. So I know a lot of producers like to drop everything down, and I know I have things peaking, I have things clipping, and then what I do is final part, I'll drop the level down by 6 or 9 dB, depending. Drop everything down. So I've mixed it all how I can hear it, and then drop everything down or bring things up that need, which always seems to work. It's probably not the right way to produce and master.
I don't know that there is any right way. I don't know. I don't even remember what show. I watch way too much YouTube, but there was someone I was watching, and he just was doing things the wrong way, and it ends up being like giant classics because of it, you know. So
That's the thing. But my first ever remix that got a UK radio play was one of my worst produced remixes ever. And I couldn't believe it. I'm thinking, I've mastered this awful. I'm listening to it back. I'm going, no, that needs to change. And I'm blown away by how one poorly produced remix made it. It was
so
a bit
wild.
confusing. But so I think more tips that I have in terms of producing is talking to other producers, is talking to other DJs, you know, not necessarily to take ideas or tips, but basically say, how do you feel? Or even talking about the music industry as it is. You know, it's very up and down at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm curious because we have like a text thread that we all always go back and forth about this topic, but are you in the UK playing pretty much the 2010s era and up? Is there a lot of new stuff that's hitting, or is it just, you know, the old stuff being recycled?
No, it's very much the old stuff being recycled. I mean, look at David Guetta. He's resampling everything at the moment again.
Right.
I think he's done Forever Young recently, I think.
Yeah.
Which is his latest. But I don't feel like they're getting the songs that are being released now are not getting the same reaction that the 2010 songs were. And I don't know if that's because of social media, TikTok, you know, platforms that music's so accessible now. But again, the 2010 stuff and sort of prior,
Right.
give or take, is the ones that's still working for us. How long will that last? I don't know. That's the scary thing.
Has the Sabrina Carpenter, Chapel Rowan like stuff made its way for you guys, like being a big pop for you?
They have, but you get the very sort of split crowd who sort of know it. You know, Tate McRae is another one that's quite
Right.
They look, you'll play it, they'll know it, but not fully know it. And I don't know. I think music's a weird one. How it sticks these days. It doesn't stick around for long enough for people to really know. I don't know how it is in the States for you. And
it's the same.
Yeah, it's just seeing what you're remixing and what you're saying right now is it's pretty on point with what we're doing.
Right.
Just my own personal question. I every now and then throw on some UK grime, or you know, some of that is. I know that's not the rooms you're playing, but do you like any of that stuff? And is it like pretty underground there, or is it in a lot of the clubs?
Yeah, so I was actually an urban DJ as well for about 4 years at a local club. And it was, you know, I'd had all the music, I'd collected it all. Don't mind listening to it as well. And then, so it's quite, again, it's hit and miss. Songs at the moment that are really big for us is like Travis Scott, Fiend.
It's huge.
Drake, Rich Baby Daddy. These sort of the American style stuff, which is kind of coming back, which is good for us because I think for a long time the UK urban scene was not. It was going good and just sort of fell off a bit now.
Okay.
From where it was, but again, the urban stuff does still work. just very, very up and down. Like I say, but what I'm playing is 2010 eras +5, -5, and maybe older.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it. And do you play any of that older hip hop, or is it just like the pop stuff, the pop and the house stuff? Like any like older Drake, like I don't know. You got one Fuse.
Yeah.
Like even like God's Plan or
Yeah, I do play. I play. So the club I do at the moment, I'll do the first hour and a half, maybe 2 hours as old Chris Brown, sort of T-Pain, sort of older R&B stuff, old R&B hip hop, say older Drake, Bedrock, stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah, because again, everyone knows it. It's songs that have been around that have stuck.
Right.
So, yeah, but I mean, I can go back as far as like 90s R&B. We're talking Mark Morrison, Return of the Mac, stuff like that. You know, so I play quite. I'm very variety like in what I play, but the clubs I play are more commercial.
That's wild. We're very similar. Sounds like we're all running a lot of the same stuff.
Right.
I know you said you were in Spain. Is it kind of the same style rooms, or does that start changing after once you get over there?
Yeah, no, over here it's very, very the same, very commercial. But again, you know, you could be playing urban. You know, I played urban for a good 2 hours the other night, and that was getting a better reaction than the dance, the commercial.
Okay.
Right.
So it's yeah, I'm very open format, so it's that thing of just adapting, reading the room.
Same.
Right.
That's the same stuff we're doing for the most part. I mean, it's very much depending on night to night. You know, even the spots that I play and Drew plays, like it's very dependent on how the night goes. Is a little more of the direction of how the music's going to go.
I know, for example, being in Spain, you get a lot of different cultures of people. So you get some French, you get some Italian, you get the Spanish, yeah, you get English. You get a variety of different people come over here.
Are you guys playing a lot of disco?
Not so much. I know there's been a few funked up disco classics.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of them that it needs to be really well known.
For sure. Moving forward a little bit. So, are you from London proper?
No, I'm actually from. So I'm further up.
Okay.
It's a place near called Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've been through there.
Yeah, I'm around that area.
Okay.
I'm a little town, just about 30 minutes drive from there. So it's easy to say that people know that.
Yeah.
But so yeah, but even in England, the whole scene is different depending on where you can go. You can drive an hour up the road, an hour down, completely different people and music scene completely. It's very, very scary, but I suppose quite exciting.
Yeah. Do you play up and down the whole country?
I have done, yeah. For the last sort of few years, I've had residencies, so I've stayed in sort of places local to me, more convenient.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, no, I have been up down, say Spain, done, Tenerife, Ibiza, a few places.
So. Well, we were going to talk some music since we're talking so much now, but we're going to get a little bit more in depth about music. And so we have a couple picks.
All right. So now we're going to get into some picks of the week. And if you guys are listening and you haven't used Direct Music Service yet, if you use promo code Drew and Fuse Show, it'll get you 30% off your first month of activation at Direct Music Service. Edits from myself, Drew, Danny Diggs, Simo, Pete Down, Zillionaire, tons of good stuff on there exclusive to the site. Make sure you check it out. Once again, promo code Drew and Fuse Show. Drew, hit us with your DMS pick of the week.
My pick of the week is from, I don't even know how to properly say this, but Cyril, Cyril. They've been making a lot of cover remixes, just kind of bumping them up. And this one is Still Into You. It's a Paramore cover, and they just bumped it up. And I wouldn't say it's just more in the range, but it's definitely more of an opening track, maybe a cocktail hour. But yeah, I like what they did with it. It's a dope track. It's a great cover. Everyone knows it. So
Awesome. I'm sticking in the same vein with my pick for this week. It's a little bit of an older track that's on the site. It was uploaded in 2017. I recently just stumbled across it, which is another good reason why you should use direct music service, because the back catalog on the site is awesome. This would be great for a cocktail hour or dinner. It's Frank Sinatra, Fly Me to the Moon, but the Disco Pirates remix. It's just in that 115 to 120 kind of groovy, and it's a really cool take on a classic. So that's my pick of the week. Now we wanted to talk to you about some of your picks. You've done a ton of remixes. You've done a ton of edits. What are some of the ones that have been working for you, or that you wanted to talk about that you like?
Yeah, so I think I've mentioned Fat Tony. A lot of his remixes are great for my sets. High energy, perfect. So I think anything that he's produced is just very credible, and I get a lot of inspiration from it. Play a lot of like Swedish House Mafia ones. They're going really well. Like even the older style, Don't You Worry Child. Did try out Ingrosso a new one, Flood, that he's recently released. And that kind of worked quite well. Again, it's new. It needs to sort of get that sort of traction. Yeah. But for us, and for what I play, sort of, we do along the lines of Free From Desire, you know.
Yeah,
Gala, you know.
I get a lot of requests for that. What version of that are you playing?
I go with the original. I will be honest. I will go straight original on that. So, some of the ones I do think need to be kind of just left alone. But I know there is some really good ones of it out there. It's just personal preference.
Of course.
Man, I think a JBRUUS 2024 version of Don't You Worry Child would be amazing.
Could be up there. That's not a bad shout. I play one of my favourite ones that I play a lot of is David Guetta's actually Titanium, where the remix of with Morton, so the Future Rave one. It's just got that energy, and that works great alongside like Love Tonight and that sort of. It's in the same sort of key, so it just blends, works well. So yeah, that works quite well. Yeah, there's so many that you come across, and you. Does it work? Yeah. But yeah, I'd say them a couple of picks, really.
Yeah,
those are some great picks. Maybe just mention for anybody that's not familiar with you, one or two of your favorite remixes, your own personal remixes that they should go look up and grab.
Ooh, tough one. I've asked this.
It could be your favorite. It doesn't have to be, whatever is the most popular. Just the ones that you thought just came out the best, maybe.
I've done with James J as a remixer. He's a producer and DJ from my town as well. We've done I'm Good, which was the David Guetta, and that was a bit different for me. It was a bit more it's when that sort of era of Im Beck was the EDM. It's like that stompy future house sound, as it was, future slap bass or whatever it was called. So that was probably one of my favorites that we've done. The Just Dance is probably up there, that remix, because again it was a bit different. And then, to be fair, the Owl City one, I really like that one.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I've been playing that one.
Yeah, I like that one. It was, it just felt well-rounded for me as a production.
Yeah. One of the things that we like to do is just a crazy DJ story. It could be from a really great night out. It could be from a night gone horribly wrong. So we'll play this video and then we'll come back.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your a story from a night gone wrong or a night gone amazing.
I had one recently that went wrong. So the sound system in our venue is actually powered. So all the subs, all the speakers, have all got amps built into the back of each one.
Yeah.
Which sounds amazing in principle until someone puts a drink on them. Or drinks. There was multiple drinks that decided to fall over and cut all the power off in the whole venue. Everyone's looking, panicking, running around. So that's probably, I think, situations like that is what makes it the worst night, other than maybe a fight or something like that.
I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, that's out of your control.
But you know, as DJs, don't you? Everyone looks at you.
Right.
That's your fault, even though it's not your fault.
What did you do? Just put a fan on it, some towels, and hope that it like just turn them all off and hope it resets?
Well, we weren't sure. The power just was tripping instantly every time we was trying to turn it back on. We're like, okay, so me and my mate who I DJ with, we would literally, right, let's think here, what's going on? Something's tripping. So literally was like, right, go and unplug all the bass bins to start with. And then went behind the one bass bin, just dripping. The back of it was leaking alcohol. I was like, so pulled the power out of that and everything came back on. I was like, you know, luckily we only lost about 5-6 minutes. Everyone was quick to run to check.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So we did quite good. I think because both me and my friend are from a technical background, we sort of go, right, okay, let's think, you know, what could go wrong. I think other than that, the things that go wrong is that confrontation sometimes you get from some drunk people. You know, I think that's the hardest thing you have to deal with, because if you was to do that in any normal job, a day job, if you used to behave how we behave, the police would be there instantly.
Right.
You'd be arrested. But, I've been pushed. I've been, you know, been sworn at, the usual, you know, because I will not play ABBA right now, that moment. But but it's like I say, it's not all bad. I've had some amazing times. I've done pool parties, I've done boat parties over in Tenerife. I've done like I say, just good clubs that have, you know, kind of helped me as a person as well. So, and develop who I am and as I am as a DJ. So yeah,
that's awesome. I always like when we get DJs on here that do tell a story from a night gone wrong, because I think more DJs need to hear that it is okay sometimes for something bad to happen, and you know, like not everything's perfect always. You know,
it makes your whole body get changed, doesn't it? I mean, I've had an issue with my Mac keyboard, and it needs replacing, and I basically the command button got stuck. So I'm loading Serato, and it's done instant doubles. Started the track from like an intro. It's got like a 30-second intro, and I'm going, oh no, you know, just stuff like that. But it makes your whole body just like sinking feeling. Like, but we have to laugh about it, otherwise, if we let it eat us up,
for sure.
Oh yeah.
But no DJs left.
How many nights a week are you actually playing out typically?
So recently, in the last few months, I've been actually doing 6.
6 nights a week?
Yeah, so
Wow, that's a lot.
it is. It is. But when I'm going to be back in the UK, I'm going to be doing probably 2 or 3.
Okay.
So back down to, but yeah, it's just where I've been at the moment and what I've been doing, the DJing side of things. It's just every night, you know. It's
6
7.
nights a week is Drew Pierce level. He plays like 6 nights a week.
I do 4 nights, and even then, I'm like, I just feel like I hit a wall where you can't remember. Did I already play that? Oh, that was yesterday. You know?
Yeah, it does kind of get repetitive, and you think, oh, I'm playing the same. Am I playing the same? And you try and change it. You try and switch it up. I mean, you know, the amount of times I've played, I don't know, American Boy by Kanye West. You know, that's just one that just is played probably every night because
Right.
they know it. Could be a remix opportunity there, though.
That one actually needs a remix from you.
It does. It does. Yeah, that would be a
Especially
good
the
one.
next release. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would love a remix, a good remix of that.
You know what I love about like music halls and that you run and that is that I'll get DJs from your sites who will come to me and say, "We've got this for a remix idea. I've got this for a remix idea." You know, I've had some producers from Australia who want to work on something, and they've
Yeah.
given ideas, and yeah, the list is getting quite long, and the time is not long enough.
Just forget all the ones they said and just listen to ours, okay?
Listen to us, that's fine. Top trumps now.
Put them up to the top.
American Boy, don't you worry, child. Got you.
There you go.
Let's see.
There's
I
the
think
sauce.
I just want to say I definitely think that it shows that you DJ out a lot with your remixes too, because they are that always on point. They're like, it shows that you play out a lot. I think Drew and I were talking earlier, you know, before you came in, just about like how sometimes you get guys that are just producers and it kind of shows in their music because they don't play them the way that necessarily a working DJ would.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that's like an edge up you have on a lot of people too, is that you actually are a working DJ and it shows in your production.
No, 100%. And I love to, I'll always meet with different DJs all the time. You know, I'm one of them DJs who likes to, if I've finished before another DJ, I'll go and say hi and, you know, interact and say, so what's worked for you tonight? What hasn't worked for you? You know, it's the strangest thing. In Tenerife a few weeks ago, I had some guy come up to me and said, "Oh, you're JBRUUS." I didn't know this guy. He said, "I'm a DJ from England." And
Yeah.
he said, "I saw your name advertised on the screen outside." And he said, "I just want to say I love your remixes. They've worked great in my sets." You know, and something like that is just very bizarre for me. It's like, wow, like, you know. But again, working with other DJs and hearing what works and what doesn't work, and you know, and again, what I play sometimes is like that needs that remix. You know, I mean, there's I'll say there's a Pink track that I really want to remix, which is "Raise Your Glass."
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, there's a lot of requests for that. People love it. And
Wait, which one was it? I didn't hear.
Raise your glass.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
yeah. And again, I don't know if there probably is remixes. Normally what I do is I look first. I'll go onto the music pools, see if anyone's done anything first, and I'm either not too similar or and then I will if I need to make one, I'll make one. And I won't make one just for the fun of it, like I say, you know, some producers just do that. You know, it's like, I'll do that, put it out for content.
Right.
You know?
The Fat Tony just put out that one of So What,
So
the pink
What?
one. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that one's crushing.
It does go off really well over here. And I didn't get the idea from that. It was because someone else with Pink Raise Your Glass a few weeks ago. And they just sang it. And I was like, this is great. I was like, but it needs a bit of a remix.
It does.
And then I looked at my friend and he was like, you know what you need to do. but again, I don't want to, I'm not saying I'm copying. I don't want to feel like I'm
No, I don't think it is at all.
I don't think
You
so.
know.
Yeah.
I don't think so at all.
You know, he's in a league of his own of what he does anyway, and you know, and he's very good at what he does. And if I could remix of anyone, he would be that person.
I didn't even realize. I've said this multiple times, but I didn't even realize how big Pink It really is. You know, I know she's like does stadium tours, and I understand she's popular, but for in the club, it's just something I never play Pink ever. But apparently, I'm missing out. And I do have a funny raise your glass story. I was doing one of those school dances. It was like a under 16 dance, like you were saying, and you know they wanted it all clean, and the lady that was in charge was standing right next to me. And she's like, "Oh, you're so great. You haven't played any like dirty words." And it was right with the Pink. She goes, "You'll be kissing my ass." Like it couldn't have been better timing to where she's like, "You don't play anything." And then, you know, it like cuts out and says that. I'm like, oh, I'm like bright red. I was so embarrassed. Just the timing. That's
I'll
all I
be
could think
burning
of for that song.
rubber. You'll be kissing my ass. That's what she says, or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And it cuts out too. So it's all you hear is the ass loud and clear.
How did she react?
We both looked at each other, and I was like just bright red, and I knew she figured I was embarrassed by it. But I mean, it did say clean. You know, sometimes that isn't considered a dirty word, really. But when you're with younger kids, it's like all of a sudden shit starts going, "Oh fuck, that was, you know, I didn't realize that was in there. That's not appropriate."
Yeah, it does scare me sometimes when I've done some of the under events, and it has been. Well, it says it's clean, but it's just said that. And
Right.
Yep.
Right. It's tough. I know. One of the last things we like to do is we call it the sauce. It's maybe advice you would give to your younger self, advice you would give to a younger DJ, maybe something you wish you'd done different. We'll play this video and give you some time to think about that, and we'll come back to you.
It's Bootsy, baby. And this shout out goes out to Drew and Fuse, all the way from Cincinnati to the LBC Bobble. Yeah, I was told you guys are quite the chefs, and you got a delicious sauce that you cooked up. Ooh, and it drips that swagoo and breaks down the recipe. Yeah, and you giving up the pig, cause it's funky. As in good, that is, finger funkin' good. On the one by the power of the one. Yeah, without that, there is none. So get yours and be in tune with the one that loves you. Get it, baby.
All right. There's Bootsy talking about the sauce. So yeah, any advice you would give to a younger DJ, anything like that, hit us with it.
I think just starting out, listen to a lot of music. It's one of them. Obviously, I was really into music from a young age. Really try and pick out, if you want to get into producing, particularly listen to music, listen to every fine detail, get a good set of headphones, and just listen. Because that's what I did for when I wanted to produce. I listened to years and years and picking out elements. How's that been done? Even up to now, when I'm producing, you know, I'll still listen back to other tracks or recently made tracks. And then to a production tip that I do, you know, my kick drum is laid up of 4 different kicks, you know, into one, bounce down, resample, bounce, you know, to get it how I want it sounding. So, yeah, that's one thing. I think as well, don't be afraid to put out content. If you feel like it's not up to the quality, but put it out there. Let people give you advice and tips, because I've had a lot of advice and support and of producers over the years saying, try this, change that, do this, you know, and that was, whereas I was like, oh, should I put this out? Should I not put it out? And then I listen back to productions I made 10 years ago and I go, what was I thinking? So
of course.
I think it's not be afraid. The music industry is a very quick changing industry. I think that's, if you get scared by it, you get, you know, I mean, like when you approached me for this podcast, I was very much like, do I do it? I was like, I've never done this before, so this is new to me. And speaker of friends, family, they're like, absolutely go for it. Like, this is huge. This is huge. Like, so yeah. So I think don't be afraid is probably one advice as well.
Well, I mean, you said it earlier. Just to circle back, is one of your biggest remixes is one of your most hated, but just putting it out there got you all this publicity. So
100%.
you never know.
That's the thing. You just don't know. What might sound terrible to you might sound absolutely amazing to someone else. I'm not saying it was a terrible remix. It was one that I was happy with.
Yeah.
But then when you listen to it a few years later and you've realised how you produced it and mastered it, and you go, yeah, I wouldn't have done that now.
Well, I think it's really good advice. Drew and I talk about it all the time about, DJing, the most important part about DJing is the music. So if you're not listening, if you're not constantly looking for new music, like you're not doing the job. You're not doing what it takes to be good at DJing,
I think talking with DJs as well. So talking with other DJs, saying, I mean, I've helped other DJs out and given them, some packs of music, or said go to this music pool, that music pool, and suggested them areas of where they need to go. I think that's one of the things is that the industry is very tough as it is now.
It is.
So and venues are closing down. I don't know what they're like in the States, but
it's the same.
England, there was an article put out by the British media the other day that's saying that by 2025 there's probably going to be another 400 venues that are closing across England, and it's like there's not and not enough now. But being there for other DJs, supporting other DJs, because at the end of the day we're all in the same industry.
Yep.
And that was what I learned quite from a young age as well. There was no point in going, I'm going to do a better job than you. None of that. We all work together, and I mean, when you work together, you can make something amazing.
Yep,
for sure. That's gonna kind of wrap up today. Before we jump off here, let everybody know where they can find your stuff. Anything you want to plug, just hit us with it.
Yeah, so I'm on pretty much all the social medias: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm actually JBRUUS Music, so I have to spell this out. Everyone gets confused, and a lot of people don't know how to pronounce it. So it is, it's JBRUUS, but it's JBRUUS Music, all one word. And yeah, so I'm on most things, SoundCloud as well, Mixcloud. I haven't made any mixes in years, I will be honest. And then yeah, I'm on a lot of the music balls, DMS and other ones we won't mention.
Yeah.
No, you can mention it.
It
doesn't mention them.
Yeah, we don't care at all.
Yeah, I would say DJ City, Digital Music Pool. Do you guys use one or heard of one called the Mashup over in America?
I've seen it. I've been on it. I don't use it regularly.
Okay, it's one that was founded in the UK, and they do a lot of good stuff with like throwback stuff and that. But yeah, it's again, I'm on there as well, which is it's one to look at if you ever get a chance.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's YouTube as well. So
awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time to be on the show with us today. And if you guys are listening and you haven't played any JBRUUS remixes out, you are certainly slacking. You need to go get some of those and put them in your sets because they're great.
Yep.
That's gonna be it for today. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Thanks for having me.